Welcome back to my channel. Boris Johnson just arrived in Berlin for a meeting with German Chancellor Angela Merkel. After being welcomed with full protocol, both anthems and the march along the protocol troops, they gave a short press conference about this visit and their views. I honestly didn't expect too much from this press conference because, especially after Boris Johnson's letter to Donald Tusk and the reaction of Angela Merkel, we all kind of thought that we know what was going on. And Angela Merkel, right in the beginning, at her first statement, where she welcomed Boris Johnson to Germany, stated that the visit was not only about Brexit. Because of the G7 summit, they have a lot of topics to cover, and that will be other topics like Libya, like Syria, of course the developments in Iran and Hong Kong, and more important, not more important than Brexit, but more in case of numbers, because she meant more challenges in the world that are there at the moment. Boris Johnson agreed to that, by the way. But he emphasized the importance of the relationship between Germany and the UK. Because of what I was used to hear from him recently, I must really say he had quite a moderate tone in this press conference today. It was one little surprise I at least personally had. Once again, Boris Johnson emphasized that his goal is to have any kind of agreement on the 31st of October when Britain leaves the EU, but that he cannot accept the withdrawal agreement and the backstop has to go. One thing he said was also a bit surprising after what we heard recently from other members of his government, is that he feels obliged to the protection of the EU citizens in the UK. I still have something in my ear that the member of the British government wants to end any kind of freedom of movement right on the 31st of October. So that was a bit of surprise to me, because I understood her as if she meant EU citizens living there as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, you know where the comment section is. Maybe I got this one wrong, or you can explain it otherwise, but I was really glad to hear that from Boris Johnson today. Because of the questions asked by British and German journalists, they obviously gave more statements, and I just want to continue telling you about them. And because there was one thing Angela Merkel said, she said, we know that backstop is the big topic in discussion in the UK, and that the backstop is a symptom of a number of unsolved problems with Brexit. You remember that I criticized a point in Boris Johnson's statements that he always said we need an alternative, but he never said any details about alternatives. And it seems that Angela Merkel feels the same, because she said, bring me an alternative in detail and backstop can go. And from her point of view, the basis for a real solution can be the political declaration. And I always thought, okay, that is the political declaration. There they put in some intentions, what they want to do in the future, but today she said we can make it more concrete and more binding in the political declaration. And because of that, we don't need to reopen the withdrawal agreement. The backstop is only there if in these 2 years that are put into the withdrawal agreement of a translation period, we cannot find another solution. But if they already put it in the political declaration, we can faster make a new free trade deal with the UK, and then the whole thing is solved and backstop is not ever going to be triggered. Because there are always talks about the national governments and if they have different views in the EU, Angela Merkel stated once again, until Brexit is done, the EU Commission will still be doing any kind of negotiating with the United Kingdom, because the EU Commission is responsible for negotiations for the EU and not the national governments. So she will only make new decisions then in concert with her colleagues of the other 27 members as a member of the EU Council. And she emphasized 2 points again. She said the ball is on the side of the UK to bring a vision for the way the Northern Ireland-Irish border can be protected, and she emphasized 2 points once again. One point is that the ball is on the side of the UK. The UK must bring a vision for the Northern Ireland border, but the common market must be protected. That is, without naming it, an answer to the idea of Boris Johnson in his letter to say, keep the border open, just trust each other. I commented on this before, and I already told you that I don't believe in stuff like that. And Merkel with this said there must be protection of the common market. Trust is not enough. On the other hand, Boris Johnson emphasized the UK will not check the border to Ireland after the Brexit. They will not put up anything. He once again said he believes the common market can be protected without physical borders and without checks. But as I complained about last time already, once again he did not give any details or clues how this could be done. But at least he agrees it's the UK's responsibility to bring this alternative, he always mentions, not on the side of the EU. Because of this, he was, by reporters, asked again, what are your alternatives for the Northern Irish border? And again he said there could be technical solutions, but still he couldn't say how and when this could happen. The only thing he said, which I heard for the first time this time, that they will bring information about that within a few days. I personally must say I will remember this, and I will really wait for this to happen within the next days. And Angela Merkel brought up one other part I mentioned before. She said Brexit and the Good Friday Agreement must be brought together. At the moment, if you, for example, would do what Boris Johnson wants, take out the backstop, Brexit and the Good Friday Agreement wouldn't fit together, because the EU would have to protect their common market, so there wouldn't be an open border, and the Good Friday Agreement needs an open border. So this is the biggest challenge at the moment, and we're talking about for 3 years. But I must say, Boris Johnson agreed that it's mostly the responsibility of the UK, that it took 3 years without anyone thinking about a solution to this backstop, and that there is no solution to get rid of the backstop and still have the protection of the common market. And so the blame game everyone expects at the moment to get started didn't happen today. Boris Johnson was, as I mentioned before, quite moderate. He agreed in some cases that it really is the responsibility of the UK to take care of certain points, and so there surprisingly was absolutely no blame game today. I mean, in the end, he talked about this fate at the moment. I mean, it's not fate. It was done intentionally by the British government under David Cameron. They brought up the referendum. The majority of the British people at that time voted to leave, so it's not fate, it's man-made. I must say, in some parts of the press conference, it seemed as if Boris Johnson still believes the withdrawal agreement would be reopened. I mean, Angela Merkel said several times it won't happen. The rest of the 27 in the EU said several times it won't happen. But Boris Johnson still sounded today, he made a comparison with the horse race. And from this I got that he kind of still believes he can make the EU reopen the withdrawal agreement. So if he's right, I guess millions of people would be surprised. I would really be surprised because I don't believe he can manage that. But let's wait and see. We still have a couple of days left before Brexit. And tomorrow he's visiting Emmanuel Macron in France, and we'll see what they have to say about today's visit. The German media I got in this short time until I made this video now are speculating if this is just another publicity stunt, at least the part regarding Brexit. There will be more topics they talk about, but the thing with he still wants a deal, he still believes the withdrawal agreement could be opened, and so on and so on. The German media I saw, in the meantime, they are all speculating if this is yet another publicity stunt. Let the people at home know that he really only wants a no-deal Brexit and nothing else. But those are speculations. I'm speculating a bit all the time as well, of course, but there is no hard evidence from my point of view that it is so. You never know what someone believes because it's in his head and depends on what he told the people he's working with. I have never heard him say that, but some kind of behavior, of course, gives a lot of space for speculations. And something else about the German media. It was already in this time as a foreign minister that his humor didn't work well in Germany. Of course, I know from personal experience that there is a big difference between British humor and German humor. And before you say something, yes, there is German humor. Although everybody says the opposite. No, there's a lot of German humor and a lot of German comedians and stuff like that. But the German humor is different to British humor. And today again, his humor wasn't very welcome with the German media because he called Brexit just a small thing on the side that has to be dealt with. We take things like this a little bit more serious in public, and so there was a lot of criticism. But I don't know how you in the UK feel about humor like this. Maybe that's just your kind of humor to take a sincere situation like this just that way, to be able to live with it much better. Just tell me. I didn't get it either. I mean, humor is a good thing. In politics it's always a bit too sincere. I know that. I know it from my own sessions in the borough council, but that didn't work well with the media, at least. I mentioned in the beginning that this visit is short after Boris Johnson's letter to Donald Tusk. I made a video about this, so I won't repeat that all. But there were some reactions in Germany you might be interested in, as well, right after the letter, which weren't available to me when I made this last video. And maybe you're interested, so I just want to talk to you about a little bit about these reactions as well. Of course, I told you about Angela Merkel's reaction already, that she still says the withdrawal agreement won't be reopened. We can discuss the political declaration. The statement of the Greens in Germany, which are, by the way, if you don't know that, really high in the German polls, then they almost overtook the Christian Democrats as strongest party in Germany in the polls. So they are on a quite high level in public attention at the moment as well. And so it's not very... And so I should tell you that they stated after the letter that it is just a publicity stunt and that Boris Johnson is rather putting off a show than searching for compromise. There were some other voices that are quite interesting, I guess. There were voices from the German press agency that the British will blame the EU for the no-deal Brexit because the EU didn't fight the British enough. And I thought that we are in a deadlock at the moment. So that was, from my point of view, quite a funny view, because the EU is of course not fighting Brexit. That was a decision made in the UK. Fine, the first referendum was not binding. Before that, the Parliament would have had to make a decision before that it is. So they, of course, could have done everything different than they did. Then they followed the referendum, triggered Article 50, and are now in shambles. But the EU has to accept what the British Parliament has decided, and that was triggering Article 50. And now the EU has to live with it. And at the moment, the law is the UK will leave the EU on the 31st of October. And as I stated in several videos before, I don't believe the UK will change its mind in time. So I still expect the EU to leave on the 31st of October, and I expect them to leave with a no-deal Brexit. The British Chamber of Commerce in Germany also reacted on this. Their CEO said both sides have to make compromise. I guess in his statement he meant that the EU should think about discussing the backstop part and alternatives for it. But he also stated, in case of a no-deal Brexit, it will be hard for both sides, and he stated that there will be losses for Germany as well. Yeah, there will be. I said this in some of my videos before. Germany will be hit as well in case of a no-deal Brexit. But on the other hand, I said, with all that happened in the meantime, the harm to the EU will probably be much worse if the UK stays under the conditions and under what happened in the last 3 years than these losses that will occur. On the other hand, the Federation of German Industry said that they are absolutely standing behind the withdrawal agreement. And they say that the withdrawal agreement is of big importance, of great importance for German economy. And I kept one reaction for last, because it shows a lot, and it's a member of the Christian Democratic Party, which is the bigger governing party here in Germany in the coalition. Norbert Röttgen just said, Boris Johnson well knows that neither Angela Merkel nor President Emmanuel Macron will reopen the withdrawal agreement, and neither of them have anything to offer Boris Johnson wants. And that this is all he commented on Boris Johnson's letter, and then continued quite a lot about the other topics Angela Merkel also mentioned today, with Iran, Libya, Syria, and the rest of challenges in the world. Says a lot, because it tells me that our ruling party doesn't really believe that anything else will happen than a no-deal Brexit, even if nobody says so. So once again, I don't know how many videos I made this week already on Brexit, but there was a lot of words and little progress. As I stated in the title of the video already, it is a deadlock. Nothing has changed even with this visit. I don't expect anything new from Boris Johnson's visit to Emmanuel Macron tomorrow, but you never know. New day, new possibilities. But for the moment we are still where we were before summer recess, which is still running, but nothing has changed since then in my point of view. The game of wait and see is still on. For now, I don't want to hold you up much longer. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click on the bell if you don't want to miss a new Brexit video on my channel. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Many people who give me good comments forget that, so please don't forget it. Have a look on my other videos. There is, for example, one I uploaded late at night because I couldn't manage it before, that some haven't seen yet, about Corbyn and Corbyn and his what he has to say about the vote of no confidence. Was quite interesting to me. But for now, have a nice evening and see you soon.